Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Little Taco Tuesday night racing action, if you will, from Oxford Plains Speedway, the virtual Oxford Plains Speedway here. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the production trailer, pushing all the buttons, yelling into the microphones, and making the magic happen. Putting on a show here for the Outdoor Traveler 106. Here at Oxford Plains, getting lined up for a little bit of heat racing here on the docket. We've got count them, 1, 2, 3 heat races on the go here tonight, taking the top 3 from each of those. 2 last chance qualifiers, little consolation racing, taking the top 6 from each of those. You take the 9 and the 12, you put them together, you carry the 1. 21 drivers taking the trophy onto the big show here tonight. Well, I guess they're going after the trophy in the big show here tonight. It all depends on how you look at it. But in any sense, taking 35 drivers, I believe, showing up here, taking time here in practice. And man, oh man, the first practice session saw Tim Terry sitting P5 at the end of it. So that black and pink 28 car might be something to deal with here as we get down to it. But man, oh man, green flag flying for the first time tonight. Chris Roma very quick in that 83 car, taking off just a little bit, a car length or two over Caden Tufts in the 00. Josh Langell, Reagan Parent up in the mix here as well. Nathan Blackburn, Brett Byron swapping positions back here with Chase McKay. Little side-by-side action with 9 laps to go. Dave Cassidy, Quentin Carpenter, and Devin Lappin, the 10 drivers making up this field. And we did turn some laps. We got a couple of qualifying laps in. We lined everybody up in these heat races. We're going to find out where everybody's going to be lining up in the big show here tonight for the Outdoor Travelers 106 here at Oxford Plains. You can see a little conveyor belt action going on right now. Everybody pretty much single file for the front 5-6 cars or so. Brett Byron back here in the 22, still side by side with Chase McKay. Actually, Chase McKay looking in the Nathan Blackburn machine. The 5 car on your screen being scored in the timing and scoring as the 26. He's trying to get up into that top 5 and try and get up into the top 3 here. You can see those guys have kind of checked out just a little bit. They've got Reagan Parent in tow, one of the NEP drivers. They're going to be racing their all-star race tomorrow night. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. You'll catch that live right here on VidaneTV, and you can see those front 4 kind of pulling away from the field just a little bit as we go underneath the start-finish line, or we go over top of the start-finish line underneath the flag stand. We're get the high five from Barney, and the flag stand holds up 4 fingers this time around, and they are bumper to bumper for that first spot. Caden Tufts right on the back bumper of Chris Roma, not quite there just yet. He can get to him, let him know that he's there, but doesn't quite seem to have enough momentum to get around that outside and get that position. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's going to use that bumper. He's going to wait and see. A little bit of a slip up there for Chris Roma. Josh Landell's going to inherit that second place, and Caden Tufts trouble for that 00 car, gets it sorted back out. We got to take a look at the replay, right? Why a U-House Racing Designs instant replay. YRD, easy enough for me. How about that? There you see it. They get down just a little bit of a slip for Roma, and there it is. Hits the jump. That's the first time we almost get that. Oh, misses the cone, misses the second cone, scoots on around. How about that? Fancy driving from the double out machine of Caden Tufts, and that's going to give us the checkered flag up front, and there you see it. Roma's going to take it. Langell going to finish in second. Reagan Parrott going to come home in third. Brett Byron and Nathan Blackburn joining the rest of the field. They're going to have to tune in to VidaneTV, watch these couple of heat races, maybe learn a thing or two from some of these drivers, and we'll see them line it back up in the Consi races here in just a few moments' time. But we're going to line them up once again, and how about these two cats up on the front row? A couple of powerhouses here in the iRacing world. Brett Suggs going to start down on the bottom side in that 33 car. Dan Woldridge going to be up on the outside of row number 1. Ashton Tucker rolling off P3. Dave Horton up in the mix as well. Dylan Black going to roll off P5. There's the man, the big boss, and Tim Terry going to roll off in that black and pink number 28 car. In 6th, Colton Evernham back there in 7th. Trevor and Devin Smith in 8th and 9th. And Tyler DiVincenzo going to round out the 10 drivers doing battle here for heat race number 2. 10 laps on the docket. We'll give them a couple of times to do a few parade laps, a couple of pace laps as it were. Make sure the belts are nice and tight, the wheels are strapped onto the desk, and we're ready to do some battle here at Oxford. And we're going to find out which 3 of these drivers are going to move right on into the A-Main, the main event here this evening, the big show, as it were. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We've seen some crazy racing so far in heat race number 1, and heat race number 2 going to be no different. Just a little bit later on than that last race there. But got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. The Outdoor Traveler 106 here at Oxford Plains Speedway, the virtual Oxford Plains Speedway. Tim's Corner Motorsports, Wingnut Productions late model stock series here for race number 5 of 6 on the season, getting down to the nitty-gritty, and that's good news and bad news. It slows things down in the winter months, but man, oh man, that means the real racing season is right around the corner. And speaking around the corner, that pace car driver going to take that harder left turn here at Oxford Plains, because you're always turning left here. It's a great big circle, or an O, as Oxford Plains is known for there. But that pace car driver going to go down to the safety of pit road, and we're going to turn him loose here for heat race number 2. Tim Terry already going high, wide, and handsome, and backwards, it seems like. May have missed a gear in that 28 car, but struggling just a little bit with the handling. The guy that's definitely not struggling, though, that 33 car of Brett Suggs, he got the whole shot. He's pulled away over Ashton Tucker in that second car by about a car length maybe to the 28 of Tanton Woldridge up on the high side, trying to make it work. Haven't seen that work all evening long or all afternoons long so far. Everybody wanting to be on the bottom side of the racetrack, even speaking to Nick Noggle earlier on here, wants to be down on the apron and almost use that apron to see if he can turn the car just a little bit more, almost a Stafford Speedway way of approaching the racetrack. And it's definitely seems to be helped. How about a little 3-wide action? Golden Evernham taking a look down on the bottom side, thinks a little bit better of it, but they're still side by side up in front. The 08 car of Black down on the bottom side, and Tan Woldridge up on the high side. The tire Canada.ca number 28. I think I said that right. It's hard for me to read at 0 miles an hour. It's even harder to read when we're going this quick, especially when we're chasing Brett Suggs. That 33 car still out front, led all the laps so far here tonight. Ashton Tucker's moved up a spot into second. Dylan Black, he's gained 2 spots. Colton Evernham has gained 3 spots. You can see he's going to slide into the 4th position. Little battle back here. Dave Horton holding on to 5th for right now, but Tanton Woldridge trying to slip on underneath the bottom of the racetrack, or the bottom of the race car rather, and he does so. He's going to try and see if he can hold on to that position and move it a little bit closer up to the podium. And you can see these front 4 guys once again single file pulling away just a little bit. Top 3 make the big show here tonight. Everybody else going to have to run the Consi race and finish in the top 6 in one of those. But Ashton Tucker going to move on up to the lead. How about that? Brett Suggs there in second now. Dylan Black third. Colton Evernham on the outside looking in right now in that 48 car. And you can see backing up just a little bit, 3-4 car lengths back to that 4th position, while these top 3, they're trying to get bumper to bumper, and almost there's not much drafting now here at Oxford Plains, but when you do get cars hooked up like that, you're able to kind of pull away just a little bit. And that may very well be what these guys are doing. Taking a look at the lap times, too. This is the last time by there. Everybody running 15.0s, 15.1s up in the top 5 or 6. So it's going to be a super competitive race here in the big show tonight. Set of tires on pit road that they're going to be able to use in the 106 lap feature here at Oxford Plains. And we will see these 3 drivers jump on in. Tucker, Suggs, and Black. They're going to make the big show here tonight. Evernham, Woldridge, Horton, Smith, and Tim Terry. DiVincenzo in the mix as well. Going to have to gather it back up, get the cars lined up down there on pit road once again, and get back out there to see if they can get their way into the consolation race. If not, well, no big deal, because they'll be able to tune in here on VidaneTV and check out a little racing action here on a Taco Tuesday. And Nick Noggle going to join us up here in the booth. And Nick, you've been out on track a little bit here throughout practice, little heat race action. What's the feeling on the racetrack?
That qualifying lap, we might have missed it a little bit. You always forget how much grip the track gets back into it. But yeah, looking forward to this heat race, see what happens. Wind some things out and try and make our way to the front.
We'll let you go to work, rolling off P7 here in the 008 machine. 008 license to launch that we've deemed it here at Oxford Plains. And always cool to have a little in-car analyst in as well. We'll let you do the work here in heat race number 3, but we'll probably be calling on you here every now and again. It looks like we're getting the 1 to go. The lights are off up top. The iRacing pace car. We're lined up 2 by 2 here at Oxford Plains. 10 more drivers going to attempt to make the big show here tonight. They're all led by a front row of Roma and Drake. Travis Roma down on the bottom side. Rational Richard Drake, the 141 Laker News Ride. He's going to roll off P2. Everybody else tucking in on behind. Scott Negus, Danny Vitch, John Gahan, Brandon Marhefka, Nicholas Doggle, Martin Landry, Travis Turple, and Carson Nagy. Green flag flies from Barney up in the flag stand racing once again. Top three able to get single file. You can see fourth place gets just about there as well. It almost sounded like something smacked into, you know what? That was actually a tree outside that smacked into the studio here. I guess the wind's picking up a little bit earlier than we thought. So if we disappear, that's what happened. Single file racing up towards the front, though. 6, 7, 8 cars breaking away in a straight line, doing a little bit of conveyor belt action. And you may ask yourself, why are these guys following each other? What the heck are they doing? It's supposed to be a race, right? You're supposed to be in ahead of the guy in front of you. During the heat races, during practice, early on, even in the feature, a lot of times what these drivers do, they'll kind of ride behind somebody and essentially learn their driving style, see what they can use for themselves, see what they can use against the other drivers. It's almost a game of high-speed chess, not quite checkers, where you want to get up and learn that maybe after 10 laps or so, this guy's tires, they get a little bit hot, he gets a little bit squirrely, maybe he burns a little bit more fuel than you do, and he kind of loses the back end of the race car. So that, speaking of losing the back end of the race car, third place is around. That's going to be Scott Negus, pointed in the wrong direction. The first caution flag of the night gonna fly, and that 55 car going to gather it back up and grab a gear and get moving once again. But that's going to give us an opportunity to back up the tapes. We're going to do it live because we like doing that here at VidaneTV, and we're going to take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay from high atop the racetrack in the blimp, and you can see just a little bit of a nudge. That's all it takes here at Oxford Plains. We made mention earlier on that you're always turning left here at Oxford Plains. So it's when you get a little bit more of a push in that back end of the car, it's going to send it on around. But the race officials ready to rock and or roll once again, already getting the 1 to go signal. We're going to go green flag racing once again, and we'll give you a chance to chime in, Nick. How'd the car feel halfway through this heat race?
Oh, it's pretty good. Got lots of grip in it, just making our way, using that outside line when we have to, and taking them as they come.
That's the 008 car running P3 right now. Going to restart on the inside of row number 2. Green flag flying once again. There goes Barney. He's letting them know it's time to go. Roma going to take that whole shot and take over first place, or hold on to first place rather. Richard Drake in a second. Nick Nago just talked to him in third. Oh, spinning in behind, and that's going to collect a couple of cars. Caution flag flying once again, and that's going to give us a green-white checkered attempt at the replay here, and we will back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. And again, a little bit of a nudge. We'll take a look at it from the drone cam up on top of this racetrack, and there you see a little calamity, like almost 3.5 cars going for the same piece of real estate at the same time, and unfortunately that doesn't physically work. It's Brandon Marhefka off into the beach there, getting turned out of the racetrack. It's a tough spot to be in. We'll take one more look at it here. You can see that all black car getting a little bit of a shot. Tried to straighten it back out, but unfortunately the car high and nailed up into the outside, not even an outside wall, outside beach. So that's a tough break for Marhefka. Going to have to restart towards the back as we line them up once again. Got to thank everybody for tuning in here to the Outdoor Traveler 106 at Oxford Plains Speedway. Tim's Corner Motorsports throwing that green flag once again on the Wingnut Productions late model stock series. Front 3 drivers pulling away just a little bit. Side-by-side battle now for fourth. Carson Nagy, Scott Negus going after it. Negus just barely holding on. Oh, car down on the inside. That's going to bring out a yellow, or is it? No, it's not. White flag, white rag, 1 lap to go in the third heat race. Couple of drivers towards the back, couple of more drivers towards the back, getting a little squirrely there. The 93 around, and well, there you see it. The 3 drivers remaining going to move on to the big show. That's going to be Travis Roma, Richard Drake, and the 008 of Nicholas Noggle coming home with the podium finishes in the heat race. They get to sit on back and watch VidaneTV here for another couple of consolation races, 2 consi races here that we're going to line these drivers up, and we'll see if we can maybe get Nick to pop the helmet off, maybe call a little action with us here.
I think I'll hang out in the booth for a little bit, see what's going on, watch some of these last chances. Didn't really expect to make it that far up, so no complaints.
Yeah, always good when the car handles better than you thought it was going to. But we're going to line them up once again, and we're going to see some familiar names out here that, well, we've already seen in the heat races. They're going to line it up for the last chance for romance and see if they can get themselves into this one. We're going to add a couple of laps to this one here as well. 15 laps on the docket. 10 cars doing battle, taking the top 6 onto the big show. Everybody 7th on bat going to have to tune in here from the infield or from wherever they may end up going on VidaneTV. And that's the beauty here of VidaneTV. We're live all over the place. We're trying to take over the internet as we've been doing for the past 2, 3, going on 4 years now. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook for both Tim's Corner Motorsports as well as VidaneTV. We're live over on Twitch, twitch.tv/strictly94, and I'm being told we're even live in the Outdoor Traveler Bar right now up in Sandy Shores. How cool is that? I think that's the first time we've ever been live at the Outdoor Traveler, jumping on board as a sponsorship for the Outdoor Traveler 106 here at Oxford Plains as well. So be sure to give us the like, the subscribe, the share, all that good stuff. Let your friends and family know that you're watching some iRacing action here on a Tuesday, and go follow us on TikTok. We need the follower count over on TikTok. We're going to get in touch with Dylan Langell, maybe do a collab and try and bump those numbers up, because our numbers are definitely rookie numbers. We want to get up to 1,000 followers over on TikTok. So when we do these broadcasts, when we do these streams, we want to do a behind the scenes here in the production trailer. So you can watch me scream into this microphone and smash on all these buttons. I think it'd be a cool little touch to have for sure. But green flag flying right away. Brett Byron going to take that hold shot, shoot on down into turn number 1 in that 22 car. Hold on to the lead. Niga's going to fall in second. And there you see Woodridge holding on to third. It's a little side-by-side action in behind, though, after that.
Yeah, this race is going to shake out to be a good one, I figure. We're taking 6 cars out of it, so there's not that many boys going home, but I guarantee they're still going to be fighting for that last spot.
Yeah, John Gahan, after hitting the ramp in the heat race, may very well have been ejected from the event. We're not entirely sure of that, but didn't take the green flag in this one. So that leaves 9 drivers doing battle for 6 spots, and that's going to be calamity as we're seeing here. Kind of outside the top 4. These guys want to solidify their position. They want to make sure they're in the top 6, rather. 12 laps to go in this one, and you can see the front couple of cars pulling away just a little bit. That's got a lot to do with the clean air here at Oxford Plains. If you're able to get up front and not have to worry too much about a car on your outside or up in front of you, you're really able to kind of pick your own line, pick your own battle, and figure out where you need to be on the track. So another incident there with the 122 car off into the dirt. We're going to stay green this time by. Hopefully we can get that going. But what that does is it knocks us down to 8 drivers now as we get a battle for second. Scott Negus getting punted up onto the outside wall there a little bit. The 93 car wants to get up into the top 3, top 2, wants to try and take over the lead there in that 93 car. 9 laps to go here at Oxford. First of 2 consolation races, taking the top 6 in it to the big show here tonight. You can see that top 6 is digging. A couple of cars off track. Quentin Carpenter, John Gahan are out down there on pit road. There's a little battle there between Caden Tufts and Tim Terry in the 00 and the 28 car. A little bit further on back, they've got some work to do if they're going to try and make the feature here tonight. As you can see, the front 6, they are pulling away, but they're side by side still here for that 4th position. Scott Negus trying to take it away on the high side, but Chase McKay not giving him an inch. Down on the bottom side of the racetrack, up there rubbing fenders just enough to make it entertaining, putting on a show here for us. They're all still chasing down Brett Byron, though, in the 1st position. Carson Nagy in 2nd, Tant Woolridge holding on to 3rd. Oh no, trouble! Everybody's around from the leader on back. Nagy's going to inherit it. He's going to cross the stripe first, but man, oh man, that's top 5, 6 drivers. That's exactly what Caden Tufts and Tim Terry were looking for. They just didn't even know it. They're going to get themselves an opportunity here with less than 5 laps to go to re-rack, restack, and get after it once again, try and get themselves into the top 6 for this consolation race and move on to the feature here. We're going to take a look at this one from the chopper, and we're going to take a look at slow motions because you blink once here at Oxford Plains and you miss a lot of action. So we're going to take a peek here. We're following in on the 93 car. He's the one that inherited the lead. There you see the 071 get in there just a little too hot to trot. Gets right into the back of Woldridge, and then Nagy gets into Byron in the 22 car. So 2 separate incidences here at this point. 3 incidences because the 94 then at that point gets into the 55. All 6 of the top 6 get spun on around. There's Caden Tufts Almost hitting that double five car, but Tim's going to come up and say hello. Gives him a little bit of a shot there because, well, there's really nowhere you can go at that point. Tim does a great job getting that thing woed up, but man, oh man, what a monkey wrench thrown into this one with 5 laps to go. Already with the 1 to go there. Looks like we're going to send the 071 of Chase McKay to the back of the pack. Going to take the tap rule and going to have a little bit of an uphill battle. Going to have to try and pass 2 cars there. Chase McKay going to be restarting in 8th. Scott Negus is going to be there in 7th. 6th right now. Brett Byron, Devin Smith there in 5th. How about Tim Terry up to 4th? 1 position better than where he was in that first practice session earlier on today in 5th. We even got the picture of the big board. I'm sure that'll be all over Facebook and Twitter after the show. Caden Tuff's up here in 3rd, and the front row going to be Tanner Woldridge and Carson Nagy. Nagy has been marching his way on through the field here in that 93 car, holding on to the lead right now and just barely avoiding calamity in that last race there. But a green-white checkered attempt here in the first of 2 consolation races. Green flag flies, and they're sending them down towards the back. Couple of cars around. Are we going to get it cleaned off in time? It looks like we do. We'll rejoin the leaders. The top 3 have pulled away. Little side-by-side action between Devin Smith and Tim Terry for 4th. White flag, a white rag, 1 more circuit around Oxford Plains here, and it looks like it's all Nagy all the time. That 93 car showing everybody that he's going to be a force to reckon with in the big show here tonight. The Outdoor Traveler 106 here at Oxford Plains. Going to take that checkered flag. Tanton Woldridge, Caden Tufts, Devin Smith, Tim Terry, and Chase McKay going to be the 6 drivers that transfer on into this one. Everybody else, well, they're going to have to tune in live here on VidaneTV. And once again, we're live all over the place. We're over on Twitter. We're on YouTube for VidaneTV. We're on the Tim's Corner Motorsports and the VidaneTV Facebook pages. We're over there on Twitch, Strictly94. Got to give a shout out to the Heelmeister98. He tuned in. He's cheering for the 141 of Richard Drake and the 008 of Nicholas Noggle. Great to have you on board for the ride here as we line them up for the second heat race of the night. Check that second Conti race here of the night. 11 more drivers, 15 more laps, and a little bit more action as well. And we're also live over at the Outdoor Traveler up in Sandy Shores. Got to give a shout out to everybody working there tonight, everybody hanging on out here with us on VidaneTV. Little live internet racing action on a Tuesday night, if you will, here. And we're going to let them roll once again. Evernham going to go take over the pole position. The 48 car going to pull that spot. Nathan Blackbird there in 2nd. Brendan Marhefka, that number 10 car, powered by Milk, going to restart, or going to start rather, in P3. Dave Horton, Dave Cassidy going to be in 4th and 5th, and going on through the field, Martin Landry, Trevor Smith, Devin Laffin, Travis Turple, and Danny Vitch. Going to be 10 drivers that are going to take the green flag. Tyler DiVincenzo not in the car currently, in that 97 car, still parked on pit road, so may have got jammed up at the concession stand of the food truck. I hear they have some good taco trucks here at Oxford Plains, allegedly. But hopefully we can get up there and take a look at some of those taco trucks for sure. 1 to go, though. The iRacing pace car shutting those strobe lights off, and we're lined up 2 by 2. Going to do some consolation racing once again, and just like the last one, folks, taking the top 6. Everybody else going to have to tune in here on VidaneTV, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Be pretty cool to hang out with old Showtime in the production trailer. And there you see the Colton Everham machine. He doesn't want to hang out with us here in the production trailer. He's driving off into the sunset. He's got himself a 5-6 car length lead now over Nathan Blackbird. Brandon Marhefka solidly in 3rd for the time being, because it is calamity in behind them. Dave Cassidy in that bright green 113 car down on the bottom side. Stealth moving on through the field, already picked up a spot in that green machine. The 44 right up in behind there as well. That's Trevor Smith down on the bottom. How about the 73 up top of Dave Horton having himself a night here. The 20 car of Martin Landry up in the 7th position. Travis Turple, Danny Vitch back there as well, or Quaker State ride for that. Tyler DiVincenzo still not in the field. There's the 8 car as well of Devin Laffin, and there's always good looking paint schemes for that 8 car. That flat black and the bright orange and red definitely makes a little magic happen for old Showtime here in the production trailer. But 12 laps to go, 3 down, 4 down now, 11 laps to go, and that 48 car I don't want to say he's checked out, but he's definitely well on his way. A half a second lead now over Blackburn in second, and the all-black everything, the black Brandon Marhefka machine. It's the number 10 car, but we got black tape on black paint. It's hard to see that. He's running in the third position. Dave Cassidy and Trevor Smith going to round out the top 5 currently as they run. Little conveyor belt action here from Oxford Plains, taking a peek at Everingham's lead now, almost a full second over Nathan Blackburn there in second. You can see he's got a mirrorful of Brandon Marhefka, but they are just cruising right now at this point, taking the top 6 in this consolation race. There's Dave Cassidy, P4 in that bright green 113 car. Trevor Smith in a 44 back and forth. Dave Horton has that transfer spot right now, but look in his rearview mirror. It's going to be the 20 car of Martin Landry. He's going to take a shot up high, see if there's any kind of air, any kind of grip in that middle to upper group. Going to send it on around and see if he can get anything to happen here. 6 laps to go, trying to move up into that transfer spot. He doesn't want to hang out with us here in the production trailer either. It seems like he doesn't want to hang out with us here at VidaneTV. He wants to race at a big show here tonight, and you can see he is doing everything he can to try and get around that Dave Horton machine. But the 73 holding on to it right now. The Petro Canada machine all the way down on the bottom of the racetrack. And it's going to be tough to pass on the high side here at Oxford. So that's going to be for sure. Martin Landry actually going to slide on up into that 6th position. Dave Horton in 5th. Rejoining the leaders up front, Colton Everingham still he's got about a 2-second lead now over Nathan Blackburn. There's Brandon Marhefka in third rather, Nathan Blackburn there in second. Trevor Smith, Dave Horton still up in the mix as well with 3 laps to go. And you can see it. He's coming to popsicle sticks right now. That 48 car always quick on the short tracks here in the iRacing world. And tonight's going to be no different. Oxford Plains may very well be the racetrack that's going to see the 48 car win himself another race here in the Wingnut Production late model stock series, and doing it with ease here in the Consi race. We'll see what happens with 106 laps on the main event board. And there's the 5 car of Nathan Blackburn. Brandon Marhefka still there as well, but up front still that 48 car. Just got to hit his marks one more time here around Oxford Plains, and there's a good shot, a good wide angle shot that shows you're always turning left here at this racetrack. But that's going to throw the checkered flag out. 48 car Colton Everingham going to get himself the W. Blackburn, Marhefka, Smith, Horton, and Cassidy, they are going to be racing here in the big show. Landry, Laffin, Vitch, Turple, and DiVincenzo, well, they're going to have to tune in with us here on VidaneTV. Luckily for them, we're live all over the place. We are everywhere, man. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook for both VidaneTV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're trying to get on TikTok. We got to get those followers up over on TikTok so we can start going live once we hit 1,000 and get ourselves a little behind-the-scenes action here to, kind of show just how much we yell at the microphone and slam these buttons here in the production truck. It'd be a lot of fun. Definitely check it out for sure. And being told here as well, we're also live at the Outdoor Traveler up in Sandy Shores. Great to have you guys on board here with us to do a little internet racing here on a Tuesday night, and giving these drivers an opportunity to get the final warm-up in, get a final couple of laps, and you'll get some lap times up on the board just to see where everybody's at. And we're going to put them up, re-rack them, restack them, put 106 laps up on the board, and the driver that's going to be out front after that, well, they're going to be the winner. Main event time, big show feels here at Oxford Plains for the Outdoor Traveler 106, and you can see these drivers ready to go, all on the front straightaway, getting lined up, getting ready to do a little rock and roll action here at Oxford Plains Speedway. And the quick time winner of the first heat race is going to be Brett Suggs in that 33 car, Josh Langell in the 18, going to start P2 as we take a peek at the starting lineup there. Travis Roma, always quick in the RBR machine. He's going to roll off P3. Great to have the RBR Maritime group back. Oh, by the way, they're going to be joining us starting this Monday night for 7 races. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. And Ashton Tucker there in the 4th position. Chris Roma in the 83. Going to roll off P5 with the Rational one. Rational Richard Drake in the 141 Laker News Ride. He's going to roll off P6. Reagan Parent in the 17, P7. Dylan Black, Nicholas Noggle, and Carson Nagy going to round out the top 10. Colton Evernham, saw him win that Conti race just a moment ago. He's going to roll off P11. Tant Wooldridge, always quick here on these short tracks. That 56 car going to roll off P12. Nathan Blackburn, Caden Tuft, Brandon Marhefka going to be the top 15. Devin Smith, Trevor Smith, Tim Terry, Dave Horton, Chase McKay, and Dave Cassidy, the 21 drivers that are going to take the green flag here in the main event. And it's one of the drivers missed qualifying, missed heat races, missed Conti races. You got a pulled pork sandwich for me, Ashton?
I do. I didn't miss that part. You should know I won't miss the most important part of the night.
Absolutely. That's why we like having you around here. But 106 laps on the docket here tonight. These guys are ready to rock and roll. They've been putting on a show here for us in the heat races, putting on a little bit of action here for us in the Conti races, and the Outdoor Traveler 106 here at Oxford Plains, getting ready to go green. Ashton, you'll appreciate this. We're actually live at the Outdoor Traveler here tonight. Folks listening on in, here to some live internet racing as we take the green flag for the Outdoor Travelers 106. Brett Suggs gets that hole shot. Josh Langell going to try and struggle on the outside. I don't know if there's enough grip up there to get that outside to come in just yet.
Yeah, I only caught the tail end of a couple of the consies there, and doesn't look like there's much of a second lane that's consistent enough to be able to keep up. But if you can make it at work and find an opening on the bottom, it's certainly going to be the way around early on in this race. Take it to the bottom and hope to find a way in the line, I guess, because it seems to be right now a very one-lane track.
And you can see these guys, they may have learned a thing or two watching some of the heat races and Conti races, because they are all over each other up in the top. Usually a couple laps in, we'd see it kind of get single file, but these guys know that it's going to be hard to pass here, especially once we get some more wear into these tires and more wear into the racetrack here as well. We started early on in the afternoon, and by the time this thing's done, the sun's going to be set. So this racetrack going to have a very, very different feel after 106 laps. We've already got 5 of them in the books here, and it's Brett Suggs pulling away.
Yeah, that's something we hear too often, more often than not too often. We always love to see Brett out front, always like the support from Brett. What's shocking me right now is the Roma boys, 2-3 in the lineup. Good to see them having a great run. I know their series is coming up, Paul. I think you and I are going to be up in the booth again this year together. Always fun to announce the RBR series with you and VidaneTV.
Yeah, most definitely. They're going to be at Slinger this coming Monday, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. We've only had the one race here at VidaneTV at Slinger, so had an action-packed night then. We're going to have an action-packed night Monday as well, and we got a lot of stuff going on this week and next week, and live all over the place. And man, the Heelsmeister 99 says, hey, Ashton, he's over on the Twitch side of things. I think that there's a lot of different chat windows, so like we're going to be as interactive as we can here at VidaneTV. We're still working on that. I think we need maybe 6 more screens here at HQ, but we're doing what we can. We're trying to talk to everybody. We want to spread the love as well. Can't do this without the fans here. Kathy tuning in over on the Facebook, telling Cassidy get the elbows up. Got him up just enough, made the show. Dave Cassidy, let's take a peek at Dave Cassidy. Already got himself a couple of spots here in that 113 car. He's gained 4 spots from where he qualified. Shotgun start on the field for the 113, but moving on up for sure.
Yeah, this track is one of those tracks of attrition, so make it work when the opening's there, but don't push your luck. You don't want to be caught up on the outside for too long. This track is one of those ones that if you have a friend that you can work with to maybe move around, it might help. As you can see, the Roma boys kind of getting separated there. So it looked like the 38 slid off the bottom there, and I thought somewhere along the lines that the 83 would kind of let him back in this early in the race, but he got caught up on the outside and he's sliding back a little bit. It's one of those tracks that's really difficult to run. I'm not going to say that's why I didn't jump in. I'll be honest, I was working late. But when I jumped in, I realized what track we were at, And I thought to myself, it's probably good because I would have made a fool of myself anyways.
Yeah, these guys making it look easy here at Oxford Plains. Let's jump on board with the 38 car. He's stuck on the high side right now, and this is one of the cool things here about being a broadcaster, being an onlooker. He's got bright yellow gloves. You can see that out the windshield. So you know exactly what Travis is doing with that car, and as we're riding on board with him from the helmet cam, you can see how much he's sawing on that thing. There is no point where that wheel is going to stay straight. Even when it was supposed to be going, it was going to the right a little bit. So these guys sawing on this thing in 106 laps. That's a long ways here at Oxford Plains.
Absolutely. As much as everybody calls it a short track, which it is a very short track, you are constantly turning. That's a lot of work on the arms. A lot of these guys have their settings up to the max, the full feel of the car. So when they're sawing at that wheel, it's a lot of back and forth. It's gripping the wheel so that you don't lose control. And when you're on the outside like that, you're constantly trying to find a hole to the bottom.
Tucker up top as well in that 2 car, trying to get down in front of Carson Nagy in that 93 car. We saw that 93 was super quick throughout the heat races earlier on, able to climb on through the field. Doing a little bit of the same here as well. Started in the 10th position, currently being scored in 6th, so trying to march back up towards the front right now. But up front, still Brett Suggs having the lead right now. He's got Chris Roma all over his back bumper, but those two guys on the same team from the same league, the RBR Maritime Group, so they don't believe they're going to be pushing the issue too hard here early on, but they'll definitely be racing hard later on in this one. Nick Noggle having a solid run here as well. That 008 is up to 3rd. He qualified back outside the top 10. The Rational 1, Richard Drake, there in 4th, and Colton Evernham, he's gained a bunch of spots. He's up in the 5th spot.
Yeah, those are guys to watch for sure. Guys coming from the back, Evernham, Nagy, all guys we seem to talk about quite often in the Wingnut Productions late model series. Noggle won I believe this is the first feature he's made this year with us, but a regular on the tour here in the Maritime. So he certainly gets it done. I know he's getting ready. I believe he's getting ready to board a plane sometime next week. He's heading out to Florida, I believe, to start running some races out in the new Fury chassis somewhere out in the States. So he's gearing up to get his season started, even though it feels like it just finished in real life.
Yeah, and that's always a bummer when we get to the end of the iRacing season, but that always means it's going to get warm out. Man, we mentioned it earlier on the show here. It's we thought we heard a noise on the track here in the studio, but it was actually a tree coming down outside the studio here. The wind is blowing a gale here in southern New England, so luckily it didn't land on the truck or anything important, and I guess we've still got power and internet, but trouble on the racetrack as we rejoin. Unfortunately, it looks like it's the 93 car as well as Colton Evernham involved in this one.
That's rare to see. That's 2 guys that are both from Ontario, both run I believe they call them sportsmen here. They're your 602 crate style car. Colton moving up, I believe, this year into a late model. So guys that are very familiar with each other, so it's rare to see them make contact.
Yeah, and this was up in the top 5 here as well. There you see Evernham give a little bit of a tap to the 141. They drive away, everything A-OK there. Getting into the next corner, though, there's another tap from the 48 and a 3rd tap, and not enough room there. There's 93 getting in. Oh, man, Evernham backing into the line there. That's a tough break for some of those guys up and around there, but definitely could have been a whole lot worse than it was, but tough breaks for Nagy and Evernham.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think it's that there is a game of patience. He let the 141 of Drake know that he was there. We're only 25 laps in. I think that's a case there that Evernham is maybe rolling the corner a little quicker. He let the 141 know. He could have just backed off. He could have backed off, got back into a rhythm, and maybe, the next time around the 141 would have left him a little bit of a hole, but a little early to be pushing it, and it ended up in a domino effect.
There you see, you're going to come down pit road, get some of the damage worked on just a little bit. Don't think that 48 car put tires on. We've only got the 1 extra set for each of these drivers down on pit road. So I think what we may very well end up seeing when we see these short track drivers, they want tires now. They wanted tires on lap 3 of this race, because new tires always feel better. They always make the car just a little bit quicker. But I think what we'll see is we'll probably see a lot of these cats try and split this race into 2 races, and 53 plus 53 equals 106. Don't we have one of your guys that's number 53?
Yeah, that would be Cole Butcher. Is regularly the 53, representing Canada and the Maritimes very well in the States again this year. I believe he was the Winchester winner, I believe, or something like that. I know he won a couple big races this year with the Cars Tour also.
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the reasons we've got 106 laps on the docket here tonight. The other one was, well, the patio lantern, we only ran 94 laps, 94 for Paul Strickland Jr., so we had to take those 6 laps and tack it onto this race.
I mean, that still is, to this day, the best race we've ever run, the patio lanterns 94.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe patio lanterns. I thought we were looking for a fella named Patty down there in Florida the whole time.
Yeah, I can't wait to make that shirt for you. I mean, we found a couple patties. They just weren't the ones we were looking for.
Well, chicken patty, burger patty, racing patty. Look at these guys. They're side by side going for the lead right now, getting to cross the stripe here for lap 33. Is it going to be the 33 that leads it, or is it going to be the 83? We'll see. I couldn't even tell.
I couldn't tell either. The scoreboard says 33, so we'll go with 33. And right there, and I was about to say it, I was about to say there's a hole behind Brett Suggs, and now would be the time for Roma to back out of it and get back in line. And before I could say it, he did it. I learned something there. The top side is doable, but I don't think it's doable for more than 2 or 3 laps. I think it would just burn up the gear so quickly trying to run the top side. But Roma just taught me something. Not that I'll ever be able to use it, but he just taught me something.
Yeah, anything I learned from these guys, I'd probably have to apply if I was ever up in the top 5. And I mean, the last time I was in the top 5 for a TCM event was like 2 years ago, and well, that was for a C main. And these guys are.
Weren't you in the top 5 in the smashed potatoes at one point?
Maybe in practice. Did Tim tell you he was fifth quick in practice here at Oxford?
He told me multiple times. I believe I was 5th quick at Bristol on Sunday.
That's very true.
In practice.
That was a heck of a show, Jim Hallahan 333 on Sunday. Man, if you got the time, even if you don't have the time, pull that race up over on the YouTube page. All of our races here on VidaneTV on demand and in 1080p, so you can check that out in a big way. And we're going to check out the same thing here with the replay, the U-House Racing Designs instant replay in 1080p, as we like to be. And we're going to focus in on that bright green ride for the time being. That's the 113 of Dave Cassidy. There you see a little checkup action in front. Caden Tuff's around the 5-car around. Whoa, big slide, big stoppage there, but there's good. Hey, Tim made it through. How about that? So that's not terrible. That's not the end of the world. There was a couple of drivers that got a little bit of damage, but all in all, that could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, domino effect. That seems to be a common theme with this track. Just different guys being able to roll different. That is very close to ending Caden Tuff's night. If that impact had happened on the rear of the car, that would have bent the rear end and would have been a whole different ball game for him. But yeah, it seems to be a domino effect at this track. Different guys being able to roll the corners at a different speed, creating that check up and domino effect, as I say, and that's when the calamity happens.
Indeed it does. And our man Freddie Bannister over in the Facebook chat hooking us up with a little bit of a resume for Mr. Cole Butcher here tonight. He won the Redbud 400, he won the St. Patrick's Day 150, the Easter Bunny 150, and the Oxford 250, and a car tour race. That's a lot of holidays and a lot of mascots.
Right, so it was the Oxford. The Oxford was the one that I was pretty sure it was that, but I thought it was the Winchester. But yeah, that's quite a resume for 1 year.
And that makes sense. That's why it's 53 times 2 here at Oxford. Tim's probably one of the smartest promoters I think I've ever had the opportunity to work with. It's that long-term storytelling that we like here on VidaneTV. Barry Black tuning in as well over on the Facebook. He's rooting for Dylan Black. He's having himself a solid run so far here tonight. Well, he's a little bit further on back. Just came down pit road, I believe, to get some of that. Nikki Smith in here as well, rooting for Trevor. Live all over the place, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Let us know where you're at, who you're rooting for. Green flag flies. Barney in the flag stand says it's time to go.
And once again, a great jump by Brett Suggs. He's a very veteran at the restarts, right in his tracks. The 08 of Nicholas Noggle, I think it's 008 in this. I'm so used to his IRL number. He tried to shut the door, but the 83 was able to find his way back down to the bottom and hold on to that second position. We got Richard Drake up in 5th. He's trying the top side. He may have seen that it worked on early on for Roma, so he might be trying something around the top side of Nick Noggle.
Josh Langell just said, send it. He wanted the bottom side of that racetrack, and he put that 18 car there, and I guess the spotter did a fantastic job because he didn't hit anybody or anything, and he's going to try and get up into the 008 of Noggle. 008 license to launch. We've deemed that that car here at Oxford Plains, hitting the jumps earlier on in practice. Noggle doing a fantastic job there. 3 wide. How about it at Oxford Plains with Richard Drake on the outside?
Yeah, it looks like the car is getting really tight on the bottom. Now, again, I haven't had many laps in this car on this track. I don't know if that's maybe something that's going to happen. You see the back end. He's trying to get it loose to roll the corner a little better, but certainly seems to have a push on entry into the center, and he's not rolling it as smooth as he wants to. Again, with Drake on the outside, it simply could be because he's entering the corner a little low, not being able to run the line he wants to run. So it looks like he's falling back. He might let the 141... Oh, a little bit of contact there. He lays off of him and gives him space. I thought he was going to kind of lay back and give him the room to run that bottom line so he can get back into a rhythm. But nonetheless, a little bit of contact, and now he's stuck on the outside as the 18 is on the move.
Yeah, going to drop back just a little bit. Oh, loosey-goosey there for Ashton Tucker up in the 2 car. How about that for a crossover? Praise the goose. Ashton Tucker in the 2 car going to slide back a couple of spots. Ashton, we've seen him up in that high line for almost all 48 laps here at this point. It doesn't seem to be going forward too much, but he's not dropping back all that much either.
No, and it makes me wonder if it's a setup thing. I know all these guys are on the same setup, but maybe it's driving style, I should say. He seems to be comfortable up there. He seems to have a rhythm, and nobody else has really found that rhythm. So if it does work out for him, he's got a clear lane because nobody else is up there. They're 3 wide.
They're still 3 wide. Oh, they get it sorted out. Ashton, well, nope, they're just 3 wide, a row further back. Racing here at Oxford never disappoints. As you can see, Tucker he's just going to move higher up the racetrack. That car seems to be more comfortable up there, and I feel like the higher he goes up on the track, he loses a little bit on entry, but the momentum he gets when he shoots off turns 2 and 4 is astounding.
And that's going to play on late in the race. Again, is he saving equipment up there? Does he have something either wrecking in front of him? There's license to launch.
Colton Evernham hitting the jumps down in the infield. We stay green off the racing groove, so that's good news for the rest of the field. Bad news for the 48 cam. Going to rejoin, looks like 15th as he crosses the stripe this time by. And leading lap right now, halfway marker at lap 53. Check that, 54. Going to be Brett Suggs. He's led all the laps here tonight so far at Oxford Plains Speedway. And according to Luke Giroux, I got the second name. I probably butchered the third name, sorry. But speaking of Butcher, Cole Butcher led the most laps in the Winchester 400 this year. Came home P2. Still a solid run, though.
So there we go. See, I knew he ran well at the Winchester. I knew he ran well there. Like I said, great resume this year. Great season for Cole. Represented Canada and Maritimes, especially Nova Scotia, very well. Proud to say that he's from here. Grew up racing around here, and now he's making a name for himself. And one that he's probably familiar with and raced against in real life is our current leader, Brett Suggs. I know they've run some races side by side, I'm sure. And again, Roma not far off his tracks, doing the learning, doing the following. This is going to... the last half of this race is going to get interesting, especially when it comes down to tire strategy, fuel strategy, so on and so forth. Brett's very good at saving his gear. So is Roma. So is Drake. It's going to make it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And got to take a peek here at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. We got a request from Curtis jumping on in from the Facebook chat. Hey, let's take an onboard look at Ashton Tucker, and we didn't see him out on track. And well, we're going to have to back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. It looks like he may have just pulled off the track. I'm not seeing an incident for the 2 car, but we'll take a peek at it. We're still green flag here at Oxford for the Outdoor Traveler 106, and just trying to take a peek at the 2-car. We'll even speed this up just a little bit, but yeah, just comes down pit road and done for the evening. And now we're under caution.
The yellow,
so we're gonna have to take a look at
just
that.
come out.
We're all sorts of confused here for the NHQ, but it's going to give everybody an opportunity to come down. Is everybody going to come down, though? That is the question. A couple of drivers staying out there. You see the 18, Alangelo, one of the Roma brothers down there getting some tires. It looks like Suggs may have stayed out that time by, and we'll review the pit stops here as well as try and review the tapes and find out what brought out the caution flag here just for the third time here tonight.
Yeah, Suggs and Roma both stayed out. The benefactory to this looks like Woolridge and Nagy. Looks like there was possibly contact before that, or possibly coming out of the pits.
Yeah, reviewing the tapes now, and it's one of those tough things with live TV. When you look one way and try and get information about one thing, it's something's going on over here, and you push the wrong button, and then calamity ensues. But that's why we do it live here at VidaneTV. We love that kind of stuff. And well, tough.
Things going in the booth.
Not too terrible. Under caution here for the third time. How are things going, well, in the car?
Well, they were going good, and then we blew a right front tire.
Well, that explains things, because I thought you were just trying to play nice with Richard Drake there, and then you got into him, and then I got all sorts of confused.
Yeah, we were tight, and then all of a sudden it was like, we're going backwards. This thing is not turning. And I found it very odd, and then we pulled in the pits and had a nice 0% on that right front tire.
So this is the cue for the march back to the front.
Yes, exactly. I got fresh tires, and we're going green.
Oh, here we go. So there we go. There's our man to watch. Is going to be the 008, or 08 as I know him better by, of Nicholas Noggle.
008, license to launch, license to green, racing once again. And how about Brett Suggs once again on that restart, powerhouse restart in the 33 car. Chris Roma tucked in behind there and second. Side by side for third, still Nagy on the high side. We can't take a look at Ashton Tucker on board on the high side, but we can definitely take a peek at this 93 car. How about it?
Yeah, another situation of hard on the wheel. He gets down to the bottom, finds a gap. Spotter did a great job of clearing him. Again, sawing at the wheel. Not much of a straight wheel. You see that orange mark on the steering wheel. It's supposed to go straight up and down at about the 12 o'clock mark, and it never seems to do that at this track. So if it's not going left, it's going to be a little bit right, and that's usually when the driver has a handful of race car.
Making it look easy here for us. How about an onboard shot of Caden Tubbs? A little loosey-goosey that time, is losing the back end just a little bit. But look at the momentum he gets as on corner exits. Just really able to drive on in. And you can see just sending it, trying to get up to the back bumper there of Tanton Woolridge down on the inside. But hard to do when there's a car down on the inside. And you can see this is a great big circle. You would think these guys are just out for a little Tuesday night drive here. But, man, these guys sawing on this wheel.
Yeah, and I think that's going to beat up that right front quite a bit. We heard earlier from Nick Noggle that right front 0% means there's no air left in it, and you got no grip. And running as hard as he was down into the corner, the back end sliding around, I can't imagine that's easy on the tires.
Well, a little calamity back in the middle of the pack. Gonna throw the caution. It looks like everybody able to get it sorted out, but that was a little bit of nightmare fuel down towards the exit of pit road there.
Yeah, it looked like at one point they were 4 wide. I mean, the yellow had already come out, but we don't get to call 4 wide too often, so we'll see what it looks like from here.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Evernham getting a little piece of the action as well as Noggle in that 008 car, as it were. We'll see if we can back this up just a little bit more. Man, there are cars slipping and sliding all over the track, and it's cool to see here with the iRacing service, because if you look at the top, once we hit the play button, the top and the bottom of the racetrack, both grooves have a bunch of rubber balls from the wear of these tires, so it really makes for a slick racetrack. And Evernham getting a little bit of a bump, tries to get it all sorted out, gets another bump from Noggle. They kind of straighten each other out. The caution flag flies here but at this point, everybody pointed in the right direction. So once again, these guys showing us that they're pretty good with this whole iRacing thing, because you think they're going to throw a caution here, or you think they're going to have a big wreck. They get it all sorted out, and that's just really a testament to how good these guys are behind the wheel.
Yeah, it looked like the 48 come off the corner and the car snapped a little loose. He tried to collect it. Noggle had a great run coming out of that corner. Again, the fresh tires that he said he just took. Great run, caught the 48 a little faster than I think he was expecting. Tried to check up a little too late, got into the back of him. They saved it. Great job at saving it. And it's going to send the 48 down pit road. He'll get, looks like fresh tires put on it and come back out. He'll be another one to watch coming from the back.
Getting the 1 to go, it looks like. Nope, light's still on the iRacing pace car, so maybe 2 to go this time by as we gather everybody back up, re-rack and restack here, working lap number 74, getting down to the final closing laps here at Oxford Plains for the Outdoor Traveler 106. Great to have you here. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. in the production trailer alongside me, the Wingnut himself, Ashton Reiki, Nick Noggle on the comms as well from inside the 008 car, and getting ready to do battle once again, lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Lights out on that iRacing pace car. Now we're just waiting for Barney on the flag stand. Crossing the stripe for lap number 76. Brett Suggs down on the bottom. Langell is there as well. Caden Tufts has made his way up towards the front in a big way and in a quiet way. We haven't talked about that 00 very much here tonight, and he's gained himself 11 spots, battling now side by side for second on the outside.
Yeah, another one that you talked about early on in this race, Paul, was the 18 who was just sending it on the bottom. I had talked about earlier on about how much pressure that puts on the right front and wear to the car, but it seems to have worked out. He's put himself in a great position. He's back up into second place, and kind of putting a little bit of pressure on Brett Suggs. I don't know. You read my mind. I was just about to ask how the tires were looking, and it looks like he has a little bit fresher tires than what Brett Suggs is going to have, because Suggs has not come down pit road all race. So this is going to become a game of attrition. Brett Suggs is hooking it to the bottom still, but he's a little slower on the roll in the center. That gives the 18 the little bump and run. He's on the bottom, and he's going to work his way past. He's not there yet. I guess now he'll come off the corner. We got a new leader, Paul. It's the 18 of Langell.
And indeed we do. Got to find a spot to tuck that 33 car. You can see Caden Tuff's going to take that door. He's going to hold that door open and take that position away. Dylan Black sees that same door as well. He's going to try and get up in there and take that third position. No, Suggs going to get down and slide on in front. And at this point, really needs a caution here in the next, I would say, 10 to 15 laps or so, because that would give him an opportunity to come down and get those fresh tires. Not enough time to drop through the field, and hopefully, at that point, these guys will put on a little bit of a beating on their tires themselves. So, kind of a high-speed chess game. Whoa, big bump, bro, and trouble's in behind. Yes, 3 wide, coming to the caution. 28 cars around. Tanton Wooldridge going to grab a gear, spin it on around, and we're going to have to pull that one up on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay.
Yeah, Paul, that was that domino effect right away.
And here at Oxford, when you've got everybody stacked up so closely here, there's really not a lot of room to pass. So when you do have a calamity, it's tough to get out of the way. But we'll take a peek here. There's the battle with Suggs down on the bottom side, getting on in front. There's the contact there simultaneously between Tanton Wooldridge. Looks like Noggle and 141 got a little piece of the action. Dave Cassidy skating on through. Hard to miss that bright green machine, as well as Tim's black and pink number 28 car. Hard to think. Tim's in the top 10 right now, Ashton.
Yeah, I can just imagine the conversation that we're going to have with Tim Terry after this broadcast about him being in the top 10, in 9th of all, with 22 to go.
Well, Brett Suggs going to take the opportunity now to come down and get those fresh tires. So, I mean, at this point, what better time than to interview Tim Terry? Tim, you just passed Brett Suggs for position. You're in the top 10.
That is fantastic. We, I think, are the only driver in the history of this series to self-spin from last in this race car. And now we're back on the lead lap and we're running in the top 10. So if we can finish this on the lead lap in one piece, I'm happy.
What lap did you self-spin on?
I don't know, lap 15 or so. I was chasing Chase McKay around, and car got light at a 4 and spun it out and looped it back around, got back on the racetrack, got a caution, got the reach around, and now we're back on the lead lap here.
Jesus. I got nothing, Paul.
Well, it's time for Tim to go back to work. We'll send him back down there somewhere. Always cool when you can mess around with the boss man like that. But yeah, solid run. P5 in first practice earlier this morning when the racetrack was nice and cold, and you know there was a lot of grip out here at Oxford Plains. But still digging out here. P9 for Tim Terry, and they're all chasing the new leader, Josh. Easy enough for me to say. Holy cow, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew here. Josh Langell inheriting the lead after Brett Suggs comes down pit road here. So Suggs going to give up a lot of track position, going to restart P13, but he's got 4 fresh Mr. Feelgoods, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on here in the closing 19 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. 19 laps doesn't sound like a lot, but with a field like this that runs so tight, if you can find a lane that works for you, that's clear, or you can work your way through traffic quickly, 19 laps is plenty of time to get your way back to the front. Great restart by Josh Langell, opening the door for the 0-0 of Tuss to get in behind him, and that's exactly what he does. 1, 2, 3 single file on the restart.
Oh, trouble in the back. Devin Smith, Dave Cassidy gets by, but Devin Smith and Nicholas Doggle got by as well. Looks like a lap car, but off into the beach. We stay green flag racing here for the time being. We'll see if Horton's going to be able to get back on the track. Josh Langell, though, still holding on to the lead. Caden Tufts is there, though. He is all over that back bumper. That 0-0 car has made up 12 spots from qualifying outside the top 10. Currently running in second. He's got a mirror full of Dylan Black, but he's got a windshield full of the lead as well.
Yeah, he's the only guy that I've really seen the back end of the car really kicking out off the corners. Everybody else seems to, you see them give it a little bit of right, but his car really seems to be moving the most. I'm not really sure if it's just a driver's aspect or what it is. You do see the odd guy giving it the right, but the 0-0 seems to really have to saw on it coming out of the corners.
How about a little 3-wide action? Richard Drake taking a shot down low to regain himself a top 5 spot. That Laker News ride is rocketing up towards the front. They're still doing battle in behind. Travis Roma stuck on the high side. Colton Evernham is there. He's going to go up, give him a little bit of a shot in the door, say, hey, bud, how you doing? Let's race for 5th.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it is go time, but you got to watch what you do, and that's...
Got to watch what Evernham does too. He's off into the beach outside the racetrack there. Caution, caution, caution.
Yeah, that's one of those. I don't want to use the word retaliation, but when you give the guy a shot in the door, you need to expect that something's coming back, because that's just not the way you necessarily want to make a pass on not a seasoned veteran, but a guy that seems to run quite a few races.
For sure. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and from high above the racetrack, and there you see everybody looking good. There's Evernham going up, giving him a little bit of a how you do. Not quite shoving him, just a little bit of a lean. I mean, we even heard Nick Noggle talking with the in-car radio with Tim Terry earlier on. Hey, I'm going to lean on you here. I need to gain myself a 10th this next time by, and I think that's what Evernham was trying to do. And you see it's getting in close to the end of this one, so maybe Roma didn't appreciate that too much. You can see it's one of those. Yeah, I think he could have let up, but he probably, you know.
To me, that one there, Paul, and I don't like to call drivers out, but the entry was a little high. It's almost like he was trying to get him in the third groove to prove a point.
Little too hot to trot, we'll call it.
Right, exactly. With 10 to go, it is go time. Right, so every position counts at this point. Especially, we're coming towards the end of the year, end of the season for these guys. So every point matters. Yeah, that was just tough luck for both drivers, because they were both having great runs coming back up to the front.
Let's check in with Nick, shall we? The 008 car back on the lead lap, restarting P13. You've got the broadcast going on through your headset now, Nick. So you heard us talking. 8 wheels turn better than 4 here, right?
Yeah, no, the place being so round, you're always turning and just riding that edge. So if you can use someone else's wheels to help you turn through the corner, you're definitely gonna gain a little.
And quick question here before we take the green flag. Can you hear Tim talking trash from up there in P8?
Oh, yeah, I can already hear it. We're gonna be hearing this for the rest of the off season if we don't beat them.
Every dog has his day, I guess. Good luck out there, Nick. We'll talk to you after the show.
Thank you very much.
I know Nick can still hear us. I didn't really want to point this out again, but on Sunday, Nick was in the race. Both Tim and I did finish the race. Nick did not.
Getting close to finishing this one here. Single digits. 7 laps to go at Oxford for the Outdoor Traveler. 106. 100 of them in the books. That means there's 6 to go. How about that for some quick math?
That was really quick. I'm impressed, Paul. I'm very impressed.
Every now and again we get it, and every now and again we get a little side-by-side action. 83 of Chris Roma getting down underneath Richard Drake for the spot. Drake drifting on up on the high side. Here comes Suggs with the fresh tires, Ashton. That 33 car, he restarted back in 15th, and he's all the way up to 7th.
Yeah, he's certainly making it. I think he's going to run out of time, but coming back from something like that all the way up into a top 10, top 5, if he can make it there, certainly a big feat. Up front, a guy that we talked about all day
Tim's
today.
3 wide.
They are 3 wide with Everingham on the bottom. Now it's 3 wide again, just a lane back. Tim's fighting the car on the outside, making it work. Look at that. He comes around the outside of that 3 wide like he's a seasoned veteran.
Dropping back a couple of spots, but still holding on to a top 10. Up front, still chasing the leader, Josh Langell in that 18 car. He's going to come to the strike, the popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go in the Outdoor Traveler. 106. Langell out front. It seems like he's pulling away from Nagy. The length is 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, I was just about to go into that, Paul. We talked about him quite a bit here today, but haven't seen him much up on the podium with the Wingnut production late models. But here they are, Josh Langell, Carson Nagy, and Caden Tufts holding strong with the car that's very loose. Roma right there in his tracks, looking to make a pass.
Coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Langell going to take the checkered flag here at Oxford Plains. Carson Nagy going to finish in 2nd. Caden Tufts coming home 3rd. Chris Roma in 4th. The Rational one back in the 141.
Big wreck out of 4 coming to the checkered, Paul.
Oh, they are still stacked up and bumping into each other, so we're going to have to take a look at that for sure. But we'll back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay to take a peek. Oh, big time calamity. For sure. We're gonna run this in slow motion so we can take a peek at all the action, and we're gonna talk to the top 3 drivers here in this one. And all in all, heck of a race here at Oxford Plains. This place never disappoints.
Yeah, that's a fun race to announce. I'll clarify, because I don't think I could have run that many races. So there's the door open. Brett Suggs. Ooh, he's already loose getting in. I think he did everything he could to stay off the 28. 141, nowhere to go, up into the back of Suggs. That's Everingham right behind them. Same thing. Once you're committed to that corner, really nowhere to go. Suggs back down in front of Everingham. Just a whole mess. I don't see Tim coming yet, though. Did they start wrecking and Tim make it through?
We'll take a peek from Tim's car here. We'll slide on through. We'll kick that up, and it looks like he barely avoided. He ended up. It looks like he might have gotten into it because I'm showing P12, so almost a top 10 for the boss man. But definitely not bad. We'll take a peek at that scoring. There's a little bit of Tim Terry action there for you.
That's the way we're used to seeing Tim Terry finish a race.
Upside down and, on the beach. As you can see, the 18 car going to burn him down here. We'll take a look at the results. Langell, Nagy, and Tufts lined up in the top 3. Roma and Drake, the top 5. We'll continue on to it, but see if we can get you down there to victory lane. You've caught up with tonight's winner, Josh Langell.
Yes, I have. Josh just getting out of the car. Josh, that was an interesting race to watch here from the booth. What was your perspective on that whole race?
I had good pace all race. I tried to take care of it and save some tires, and then I got into Richard and figured I'd pick because I was going to the back anyways, and worked out well. I rolled the top on a lot of the guys and then they pitted, and I was third, so it worked out well.
Yeah, I was just going to mention you were rolling the top side there. This isn't a track that Paul or I or anybody in this booth has really on too often. Is the high side easier on the gear, or is it more just a comfort level?
Red.
It's definitely harder on the gear, but I was on fresher tires and they were on older tires, so when I had a lot more pace in them, I could use my tires a little bit, abuse them a little bit more to roll the top, and it worked out in my favor.
Absolutely. We know there's guys that help you get to the track in real life. We know there's guys that help you get to the track on this sim rig. Who do you got to thank?
I'd just like to thank the boys in the Discord, Brandon, Nagy, Colton, Creighton, Hot Carl Chassis, Landrel Racing.
Awesome. It's great to see you up on the podium, and hopefully we'll see you again there before the end of the season. If not, once we get to the track in our warmer weather, we'll hopefully see you on the podium out there. And thanks for coming out, and congratulations again.
Thanks, Ashton. Thanks to Paul and Tim for putting this on.
Awesome. Paul, I think you've caught up with another one of our podium drivers down there, Carson Nagy.
Indeed, I have. This 93 car has been bad fast all night long. Watch you come through the heat races. Don't even think we needed a Consi race to get you into this field, but definitely showing that 93 car was nothing to mess with. Carson finishing in second. Talk to us, man. How was that car handling?
Yeah, we had a really good run. It's not so lucky in the heat. Got into a little accident, but knew as long as I made the feature would be okay. And other than a few little incidents with Colton in the 08, we were rolling pretty good. Just had to wait for a good track position near the end.
Making it look easy for sure. Coming home in second. Who do you got to thank? Who's out there watching in the virtual, maybe the real racing world as well?
Yeah, just everybody working with us in Discord, Colton, Josh, and Wingnut Productions, Tim, Terry, everyone who's putting this on. It's been a lot of fun.
Putting on a show here for us at VidaneTV and Tim's Corner Motorsports, and doing it with ease, finishing in second position. That's Carson Nagy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And a little bit further on down pit road, actually parked right next to him, the double aught, Caden Tufts. Ashton, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, I'm down here with Caden. Caden, a race that we got to talk about you a lot, coming on the top side and making some moves early on, getting really aggressive. What more did you need to get those two last spots to get you in the first place?
There's a whole bunch we needed. I think I need a little more speed just to maybe have a chance at winning the race. But I know we definitely had a top 3 car after taking those tires, rolling the top like that. I kind of just threw a baseball at it pretty much, and I was like, you know what, let's try the top here. So we ended up driving up to third and staying there for the rest of the race. So there's not much else you could really do. I mean, Josh was fast, Nagy was fast. There was a whole bunch of guys that were fast that race that were hard to get around. You just had to be patient and wait for them to mess up.
Absolutely, and a race of strategy coming towards the end there. Brett Suggs took tires really late in the race. He was coming to you guys quickly when he did get those fresh tires, so they obviously made a big difference in this race.
Oh yeah, there was a huge difference. I mean, it feels like the car doesn't wear much on tires, but the first time I went down, it was pretty worn out on the tires. So I was like maybe a halfway or a little past, but I think I ended up going on like 41 or something like that, and just praying I could hold on to the tires for the rest of the race. But it ended up getting a little loose on the long run there, and it slowed us down a little bit.
Absolutely. There's guys that help you in the real world, guys that help you on the sim rig. Who do you got to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad, my grandfather, my grandmother, all of my family that's watching. Timberlake Beverage Room, LBT Pallets, Scottsburg Transfer, Bradwater Mortgages, Elite Performance Industries, and you guys for putting this on, and Tim for letting me race.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on another podium finish, and we'll hopefully catch up to you at the next race.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Paul, I think that's it for us down here on the front stretch. You got anything else?
Yeah, I got Timmy over here on the back stretch, man. Tim, great race. First off, up in the top 10 earlier on. What happened at the end?
Well, Dave Cassidy kind of parked at center on me, and I rolled in a little too hot. I couldn't get that thing to hit the bottom at the end of the race with the old tires. We pitted a little bit earlier than everybody else after flat spotting them self-spinning in the first 20 laps of the race. But Dave kind of parked a little center on me. I got into him. Then Nick kind of turned me quasi the next lap, and we may or may not have returned the favor, and we may or may not have got Nick disqualified for incident points. So apologies to Nick. We were not. Dylan Langell likes to call it a receipt. We were going to make sure that Nick had a receipt at the end of it, but it was all in good fun. There was one point in the race where I'm running, I think, 10th, and 2 cars behind me are Nicholas Noggle and Devin Smith. So I'm pretty happy with it. That was a blast. We finished 1 spot better tonight than we did during the 333. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Myrtle Beach, but we might try it next week. We do have, let me put the promoter hat on. We do have a new overall point leader, by the way, after tonight's race. And let me pull it up here. I've still got to do provisional points. I believe Brett Biron's going to move back up to 3rd or 4th. But Carson Nagy has the point lead by 30 points. Best 8 races overall is the total for the overall championship. Brett Suggs is 46 points behind, and he's got 1 more start he can count. So Brett is looking pretty good when it comes to the overall points, and pretty good when it comes to the Wingnut Productions late model stock points. But there's still 1 more race to go for that next week. So plenty to be decided, plenty to race for next week, and trying to lock into the showcase. Josh was already locked in via his points with the Tolco Electric super late models, but it's going to change the landscape just a little bit. Looking forward to next week. After 2 races here, we get a little bit of a time for a little bit of a breather, Paul, and come back to Myrtle Beach, and then 2 races at the Bull Ring afterwards, and then we're done for the season. So it's been a fun year. We still got a couple of races left. So for those that are out there and want to burn some laps with us, you still got a little bit of time.
Absolutely, and still able to get a little bit of the entertaining action here this week. Tomorrow night, the NEP All-Star Race. Thursday night, NEP back points racing once again, and then we re-rack, restack, and do it all again next week. We rejoin next Tuesday night right here with Tim's Corner Motorsports, Wingnut Productions, late model stocks. Going to be a whole lot of fun here. But for everybody here at VidaneTV, Tim's Corner Motorsports, and everybody up there at the Outdoor Traveler in Sandy Shores, we'll see you on the flip side, and when we do, we are going to be doing it live.